This program provides education, not advice. Sponsors pay a fee for endorsements and interviews. See the truthayf.com disclosure page for details.
This is where technology, innovation, and personal finance come together.
This is the truth about your future with Rick Edelman.
How should you think about Bitcoin? Turn to a specialist. For 6 years, Bitwise has been helping investors access crypto. Bitwise manages the world's largest crypto index fund. They also offer 6 crypto ETFs. You get cutting-edge insights, expert Bitcoin research, and a nationwide team to help. Bitwise helps investors and advisors navigate crypto with confidence. Partner with a specialist. Look for ETFs backed by Bitwise. BitwiseInvestments.com. Carefully consider the extreme risks associated with crypto before investing.
Rick is away the rest of the week. He recorded today's podcast for you before the vice presidential debate or the most recent events in Israel occurred. Enjoy today's podcast.
It's Wednesday, October 2nd. 5 million people have had their student loans forgiven so far by President Joe Biden. Now, we can debate the merits of these student loan forgiveness. I've talked about it, pretty often here on this podcast. As you know from listening to some of those shows, I strongly oppose the notion of student loan forgiveness for the overwhelming majority of college students, if not all of them, for all kinds of reasons we're not going to get into right now, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to add on to the argument. Here's the real sad part of the student loan forgiveness. You would think that getting rid of the student debt would solve these people's money problems, right? I mean, that's the whole point of the student loan forgiveness, isn't it? President Biden has said that these borrowers owe so much money that they can't afford to buy a house. Many of them are delaying marriage and children. They're struggling to get into jobs that they would really like because they don't pay enough. And so many of them have had their credit records dinged and on and on and on. So this would solve the problem, right? Well, apparently not. Studies are now showing that the people who had those student loans, who now don't have to repay them, are still under financial stress. Borrowers who were late on payments or even defaulted on their student loan debt are often still dealing with other financial problems, like low credit scores and other debt, like credit card debt. And since millions of these people weren't making payments anyway on their student loans, having the loans waived isn't really making any difference in their lives. It's not like they were spending $500 a month and now they have $500 extra in cash to use, so the student loan forgiveness isn't really helping. Constantine Yanellis, a finance professor at the University of Chicago, she has studied household finance, and she said, quote, "For the typical borrower, the forgiveness is nice, but not life-changing," unquote. Her study found that the borrowers simply replaced their student loan debt with other forms of debt, half the time credit card debt. So what is Joe Biden, or now Kamala Harris, going to do next? Pay off everybody's credit card debt? This is what too many politicians don't understand. Merely throwing money at something doesn't solve the problem. Stay tuned. Coming up next here on the podcast, one of the questions that we got from a listener here to the podcast.
The Truth About Your Future with Rick Edelman is brought to you by Schwab. With Schwab investing themes, it's easy to invest in ideas you believe in, like online music and videos, artificial intelligence, electric vehicles, and more. Schwab's research process uncovers emerging trends. Then their technology curates relevant stocks into themes. Choose from over 40 themes. Buy all the stocks in a theme as is, or customized to better fit your investing goals, all in a few clicks. Schwab Investing Themes is not intended to be investment advice or a recommendation of any stock or investment strategy. Learn more at schwab.com/thematic investing.
Hey, I did a podcast recently on the fiduciary standard and how the insurance industry is fighting the new regulation in court. You can listen to that podcast. The link to it's in the show notes in case you missed it. Mike wrote to me the following question based on that podcast.
I think from a consumer's standpoint, the biggest problem with these products is the lack of understanding that people have. They are easily sold, but not easily understood. I speak from experience. I own several annuities and really have no clue what they are.
Yes, Mike, I think you've nailed it. This is exactly the problem. It's not really so much a crisis for the annuity products themselves. The real crisis is with the sales practices associated with annuity products. The products themselves are legitimate in most cases. This is why the regulators allow them to exist. The issue is how they're marketed. Too often, insurance agents promote these annuities as bigger and better than in fact they really are. They tend not to disclose sufficiently to have the customer truly comprehend the tax implications, the lack of liquidity, the low returns, the high fees, and the alternative opportunities that frankly in so many cases are superior. Why don't the insurance agents do this? Well, partly it's lack of training. Partly it's conflict of interest. The insurance agents make much bigger commissions selling annuities than they would, say, by earning money selling a mutual fund. And in many cases, it's licensing. The insurance agents are licensed to sell annuities. They're allowed to sell those products, but they aren't licensed to recommend stocks or bonds or mutual funds or ETFs. So, hey, if I'm a Ford dealer, I'm going to sell a Ford even if a Chevy's a better product, or vice versa. So you've got all of these issues, and the result is inexperienced individuals who are in over their head because you've never bought an annuity before, but the guy selling it to you has sold hundreds of them. He's a lot better at this game than you are. You don't even know what questions to ask, let alone being able to interpret and understand the answers. And as a result, annuity sales often occur when they shouldn't. This is why the government is trying to impose a fiduciary standard on everybody selling everything, and why the insurance industry doesn't like the idea. You can send me your question as well. Just send it to askrick@thetruthayf.com. The link is in the show notes. Hey, it's Wednesday, October 9th, coming up, 1 p.m. Eastern, our webinar on crypto for RIAs. You'll learn all about yield, staking, lending, custody, learn what's going on, what the investment opportunities are way beyond just the ETFs. Abra founder Bill Barheit's going to be with me talking about all of this. You get 1 CE credit, and the webinar's free. Register right now. The link is in the show notes. See you there.
I'm glad you're with me here on The Truth About Your Future. If you like what you're hearing, be sure to follow and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. And remember, leave a review on Apple Podcasts. I read them all. Never miss an episode of The Truth About Your Future. Follow and subscribe on your favorite podcast app.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Increased awareness and actionable intelligence about the forces that are shaping our world.
This is The Truth About Your Future with Rick Edelman.